Express and Curtis JK Printing would like to acknowledge and show our appreciation to our dedicated fathers and mothers all season long by highlighting someone new each game. Thanks to Audrey and Curtis JK Printing.
And with that, we welcome you to the WFCU Center NBL Canada action. We're the only game in town on this lovely Thursday night as the Cape Breton Highlanders, who are within their last game of their Western road trip, play against the Windsor Express. Good evening, folks. This is Aaron Sanders alongside JP, Justin Prince, and I think we mentioned it at our pregame show down on Facebook Live, JP, that now this Highlanders team is nobody to fool around with. They won 6 of their last 8, and they did a number on the KW Titans last night, and they're willing to win 3 in a row before they go back to the Center 200 this Sunday night.
Yeah, Cape Breton has been one of those teams all season long that's been in games, and at the start of the season, they were struggling to get the wins at the early going. But as the year has gone on, as we've seen, and especially with the past 6 of 8, as you mentioned, and this road trip, they've been doing the exact opposite, being able to close out the games for the victories like that. So Cape Breton is somebody definitely going to be tough to compete against tonight here in their blue jerseys.
And the Cape Breton Highlanders, should they win tonight, they will be tied for the final playoff spot for the Island Storm for the time being. But for the Windsor Express, they have a lot to rely on tonight. I mean, the headlines is like this. Shaq Keith is back in. Clay Krellin and Shane Stump have been released, but coming in for the first time will be Sefton Barrett in the red and black, so you've got to expect to see him somewhere along the way later tonight. And JP, you even said yourself that Sefton spent the last 2 days with the Express, so I think he's accustomed to the system already.
Yeah, I believe so. It's going to take him, I think, a little bit to get into the action, of course, based on the starting lineup on the floor, as you see. But really, he's somebody that's been with this team for the past couple days, and the Express are very highly thinking of him for sure. Not just his veteran presence, but the ability to shoot on the outside, the ability to drive inside and make those baskets that Windsor's been lacking. And the main thing Windsor's been lacking at times, transition offense. A guy that can fly down the floor and complete the baskets and not just have a bounced off layup. So huge acquisition for this team that they are very excited for as their results set to go.
Shea Osayandi and Demontre Harris have set the tip off here. And we are underway here in Windsor, Ontario. Glad you're joining us right here on Knoxstrom TV. The Highlanders win the tip. And immediately the Express showing no signs of weaknesses as a pull-up J is good.
Good
contest. Beatty.
Pardon me, there. Good contested jump shot from Beatty there to get it over the defender. That was some pretty strong defense. But again, some strong defense from the Cape Breton side here to start off.
Frazier on the 3, no good. And one thing to mention too, Tyjon Beatty is a veteran here at the NBL Canada. Played for the Miracles last year as another easy shot is good for Duke Mondi. Now that's a name we're going to be talking about for the next little while here, JP.
Yeah, somebody that's been very helpful with this team throughout the season and continuing to heat up. Quickly getting on the board there, already a 4-0 run.
Shaq Keith's shot is a no-go. He's just returning from a knee injury sooner than expected. We said last week he'd be out for 2 weeks, but now he's back into the red and black as a rebound is made by Harris.
Yeah, pardon me there on Keith. He got the clearance last night. Good to see him back in the Windsor Express jersey. Jones can't make the layup, though.
He couldn't make it, and the rebound is made by Osayandi. Now, he picked up a couple of good numbers, and We even said this too, a very consistent player when it comes to points. At the beginning of the year, he averaged under 10 points a game. Now he's averaging somewhere around the ballpark of 18 and 20 points a game. And of course, the performance he displayed there last night just shows a pure example as Stutz puts it up and in, draws first blood for the Express.
Yeah, good to finally get on the score sheet there with Logan Stutz, the former MVP. They got to get a string of these going.
The J, Mondi, no. It is a rebound. Here's Jones over to Frazier. Frazier guarded by two defenders, goes inside himself. Wrap around pass to Harris, slams it home, and almost takes down the whole support.
Yeah, good play there because you seen at first Shaquille Keith was open on the perimeter, but he took the chance to go for the second option. That being able to cut inside, find Harris, getting the basket.
This is a must-win for the Express because they got a major game coming up Sunday against the 401 rivals. We'll talk about that later as a turnover is made. No, my mistake. It'll stay Cape Breton's way. Boy, with all that traffic, JP, you can even tell who will touch the ball last.
Yeah, it's been a very chaotic defensive-wise, but this is a defensive lapse off the inbound.
A quick three, and it's no good, and it's another rebound. Tie roving the sidelines is Massey. Over it goes to Beatty. Beatty tries to fight it. Inside, good deflection by Stutz. It's going to be Express ball.
Yeah, he just didn't get the shot off there going up, then came back down, lost the handle going out of bounds there. But going back to just before that, there was the box out situation where there was no box out there, which let that second chance opportunity be a possibility for Cape Breton. You got to get those rebounds at this point, even with this being the early going.
Here's Stutz, pull up three, no good. Oh, wait a minute, it did go in. It did go in. Tap dancer. Beatty was a little bit too anxious, so that's going to be a goaltend. So there you go, Logan Stutz with an automatic three.
Yeah, Logan Stutz getting the bounce of the lucky rim, so to speak. And already played some hard defense on the air end. There's the switch.
And no question about it. Beatty, three, no good. Hits the front. Rebound by Jones. And here comes Frazier. Frazier, a fan favorite here in the 519. Pumps around, skips it over to Keith. Keith, Stutz. High-low into Harris. He gets dragged by Bigelow, and he picks up the foul. Bigelow last night got a double-double against the Titans. A pretty good game by him. And once again, it's about these Cape Breton Highlanders players that have become fan favorites, and they have become formidable players here in the NBLC, as we're going to check for a substitution maybe.
I think it's just adjustments to the shot clock here, but you mentioned there with Bigelow, he's been having a pretty decent year with that. As you mentioned last night, the 10 points, 13 assists for that double-double. Somebody that, if you look at the stat sheet basically, just coming into this for a guy like Bigelow, yes, his stats don't really pop out, but he's been somebody that at times has been able to really be a hustle guy. You've seen there, had the awareness really to see, I've got a major mismatch. If I don't get this reach in, I'm going to allow free points, so to speak. And oh my goodness.
High-low into DeMontre Harris, fights through, draws another foul. Impressive display, and that's what Harris could bring to the table, JP.
Yeah, exactly. DeMontre Harris has been somebody that has been able to get inside, make the plays inside, and get the baskets to go all season long. So again, going to go to the free throw line to shoot two.
DeMontre Harris, since being signed up to the Express, he has held his own, a double-double to his name basically almost every game. He has done good wonders for this team as he knocks down a pair of free throws. And the Express have a 9-4 lead with under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Good double team by Harris. Almost caused a turnover, and it does. Here comes Keith down the aisle. Euro and all with the ice cream scoop, no good. Down everybody goes. Loose ball on the floor. Harris fights for the ball, misses the shot. And once again, a hard rebound by Osayandi. Driving down the lane was Mondi. Misses it. Keith to Frazier. Jones, open three. No good. And another foul down low. It looks like Stutz got tangled up here. Once again, we want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight on Notchstrom TV. And once again, if you have any comments you want to send our way or any questions, go over to our Twitter handle. Mine is A Sanders Windsor, and Justin's is Justin P Sports. So send your comments and questions along the way, and we'll answer them throughout the stream. Keith, open three, no good. Stutz with a rebound. Finding Keith. It's Shaq Keith. Doesn't show no signs of rust after taking a while off from a knee injury, and they are leading 11-4. Quick sideways three by Bigelow, no good. And here comes Keith rushing down the timeline. Loses control, and just like that, Bigelow will take it up himself and puts it in for two. Here's Stutz. Stutz hands off to Jones. Here's Harris. Fake handoff, goes to work himself against Ali Ahmed, loses control. And here comes Beatty again. Beatty down the lane, two defenders. Keep trying to slap it away, he couldn't. And they go around the world. Massey for three, he's got it. Bruce Massey, once again, the Atlantic Division Player of the Week this previous week. And the lead has been cut to 2, 11-9 with 7 minutes to go. Jones working through, gets the handoff. Frazier inside with the right hand, no good, tipped in by Harris. And DeMontre Harris making his presence known. Once again, here's Beatty for three, gets it to go. Tydron Beatty keeping this team alive, and that's what a veteran does for this second-year team as the lead has been cut to 1. Jones, Stutz, Frazier. One thing to note too, the Express are first in fewest turnovers in the league so far. That's one positive as Keith tries to put it in. He draws the foul. He's off to the line. And folks, if you want to give us any questions and concerns here on Notchstrom TV, we also have their Twitter handle as well, so we'll send that to you at Notchstrom. And Desmond Hubert comes into the game, so does Braylon Rayson. Desmond Hubert, once again, I think we preached to choir about this a lot about Hubert. He's a guy that will help you out when it comes to the broken plays and second chance points as Keith makes the first free throw. And as for Braylon Rayson, the old Texas charm works for him. He heats up immediately. So one time the Express to get a shot going from beyond the arc, they could be in more business. Once again, the Highlanders shot an outstanding 58% from the three-point line last night at the auditorium and 54% from the field overall. They would like to repeat that effort here tonight. Loose ball is saved, but not for long, as Mondi steps out of bounds. So the Windsor Express, they're really zeroed in to getting a victory here tonight, and so far a three-point lead is a pure example of that. Grayson near the wing. Here's Stutz, mid-range. Stutz down inside. Loses control of the ball, fights for it. He almost tightrope the sideline, loses the control. And we're going to have a media timeout here. It is 15-12 in the early goings of this game. The Windsor Express trying to pull through here. We'll return here in just a moment. good ball game so far. The Express are up 3, 15-12. Just had the media timeout here. Aaron Sanders with you here on Knoxstrom TV. We thank all of you for watching. Now, like I said at the beginning, these Highlander players are no joke. I mean, a lot of people would assume that with a almost fresh rebranding of the team that they would drop down, but they haven't. Given the fact that their first month of the season didn't go as planned, but they made up a whole ton a lot here in January, winning 6 of their last 8. They want to be en route to winning 3 in a row before they head back to the Center 200 this Sunday afternoon against the Moncton Magic, which, of course, the Express learned, JP, that ain't a team to mess with, especially with Joe Salermo's experience over there.
Yeah, Moncton's been one of those teams that has been very good in part because of having a lot of veteran players returning or coming in, I should say, to that group, being able to get kind of the right offense together and the right core to be able to win. So yeah, that is going to be an absolute challenge for a team, especially like Cape Breton when they play Moncton next. Whistle meanwhile on the floor here.
Desmond Hubert will pick up his first foul, and Ali Ahmed, as we take a look at him, JP, 6'9" fella, hails from Alexandria, Egypt, and he went to Cal State Bakersfield during his college days, and he's one of those guys that are impressing a lot of people, especially in the front court. As a floater is good. Duke Mondi taking care of business, so a lot of firepower here on this Cape Breton Highlanders team. They needed time to gel, and right now they're in the driver's seat of getting the final playoff spot in the Atlantic Division. Here's Kate down low. Sizes up between 2 defenders, gets it to go.
Good basket, able to get it through the traffic there, off the glass too for a good layup. Got to keep getting baskets like that.
Beatty on the pull-up, and it's good. Tydron Beatty, he just has that confidence flowing in his veins, pulling up from about 15. Stutz, on the other hand, from the parking lot, it's good. Logan Stutz answering with a rebuttal, and there you go.
Yeah, and look at this defense though from Windsor, leaving the paint wide open.
Ali Ahmed will go to the line, a good feed for him. And that's all that he needed to do, have his back turn at the basket, which a lot of people don't do. But when you're in traffic like that, and when the defense pulls you to the other side, you have no choice but to go through the contact and try to finish it off for an and 1. So Ali Ahmed is off the line shooting 2.
Yeah, and you can see the substitutions on the floor. One of the things we also discussed before, Aaron, though, was homecoming for Kevin Loisel. So he is now back on the floor here, like we mentioned, a bit of a homecoming for a former player of the Windsor Express.
And one of the few players that are still around the NBLC, a part of at least one of those 2 Windsor Express championship squads back in 2014 and 2015. We also see Rick Bodiford into the game here. JP, a well-seasoned veteran here in the NBLC after spending time for the Orangeville A's and a little bit of time this season with KW. He's now over at the east side playing for the Highlanders as Ahmed knocks down both free throws. It is 20-18 with 4:13 to go.
Yeah, right now, as we mentioned, this is a close matchup as expected. So they got to get some kind of separation if you're Windsor.
Put chip away, but the Express retaliates. Gathers themselves. 3 on the shot clock. Keith on the J. Off the top. And a good rebound by Otley Jr.
Yeah, and a good isolation play to get the paint empty out to set the box out, and that sets up the 3.
Maurice Jones, all by himself, pulls up for the 3. Shoots it with ease, and the lead has expanded to 5. Good spin move by Massey on the pull-up, no good. Here comes Maurice Jones. Cross courts over to Rayson, stops in his tracks, off the Stutz screen. Jones on the left side, over to Stutz, fires a 3, put her there.
Yeah, that's the risk of playing 3-2 zone, leaving that corner open for the defender, and Logan Stutz, with his ability to shoot in the perimeter, takes advantage of the defense.
Once again, a lot of people underestimate Stutz and his 3-point abilities, and there you go. Ahmed with a nice spin move, dream shake, puts it up, no good. He's off to the line again.
And here we go once again, as you mentioned already. This was just what I mentioned. Windsor needs some separation. Since that needing separation comment, they've gone from a 2-point lead already to an 8-point lead. Just shows how much can really change in just a minute?
And the Windsor Express, they had a number of days off, and that has been the stretch for them within the last couple of weeks. It's been one game a week. It all started with a month in Magic a couple of weeks ago. And then this past Saturday, they went up against the St. John's Edge. They lost 2 home games in a row on that. So now they're finding the tools to take care of business, and they're doing it as such as the lead chips away to 6 with under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, able to make both of those free throws there. But yeah, as you mentioned, they are, from what I'm seeing, wanting to make moves as the whistle's on the floor. But yeah, for the most part, for Windsor, I think really it's just trying to get the final pieces of their puzzle together, so to speak. And we've seen that with adding Sefton Barrett, I think, as that first step to get the final pieces together for the final 2 months. Huge time, especially with the start of February.
There's always something about the second half of the season that sparks up the Windsor Express, whether if it's acquisitions or firepower, as Jones pulls up for the J, and it goes.
Good fadeaway jump shot from Maurice Jones. Usually he's been able to make those kind of shots all season long in contested traffic, so that's exactly what he needs to do. And again, gets it back to an 8-point lead.
Big low over to Massey. Raylan guarding the Atlantic Division Player of the Week. Off Loisel's pick. And Loisel gets his just desserts, fires a 3, leaves his Otley and leaves Keith in his dust, but misses a 3. Here comes Jones again.
Yeah, looks like they're going for a 2-3 zone, back to a 3-2.
And it didn't work as Rayson goes all the way, and a late foul by Loisel. It's just that contact between a big fella and a small fella like Rayson that will get you every time.
Yeah, just able to drive in, going around the traffic with the switch as was going from that 2-3 back to the 3-2. Then, with that being, leaving the paint somewhat open, he took the chance to get the contested shot, able to get the whistle, and of course going to the line to shoot 2.
We're to see Chad Frazier enter back in, and Eric Parker's first time on the court tonight as we see Braylon Rayson taking his first free throw, and it goes. Rayson, once again, one of those hot-to-trot guys, and I think we've seen it about a month and a half ago, JP, down at Budweiser Gardens. Him and Shaq Keith were just shooting from basically everywhere on that parquet floor.
Yeah, I still remember that game, too. It was one of those games that is once in a season, really, where everything goes in. Basically, that's the type of player he is, as you mentioned, able to make those kind of shots, big-time shots as well when you give him the chance. As a hard worker, he's playing some hard defense, coming for the region.
Rayson picks up the foul, and he's doing a good job staying one-on-one against Massey. That's the master lock defense that's going to limit his game here. Once again, the Windsor Express, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They want to snap that tonight before their big one here this Sunday afternoon against London. Massey, one-on-one, fires a 3, makes a wish, and it comes true. Bruce Massey taking matters in his own hands from the corner.
I thought that was going to bounce off the rim for a split second because of that. As you see, it just barely rolled in as well as was going into the cylinder. Good ability to get it over the defender for the shot.
Rayson double team over Ahmed. Almost got the shot to go, and Botifer with the rebound. Here comes the Highlanders. Loisel loses control, saves it, tight ropes the sideline, throws it over. Otley Jr. with a nasty defense. Loisel inside, guarding his former teammate Keith. Pump fakes, pump twice, goes inside, draws the foul.
Yeah, just reaching in as he went for the layup attempt. That's going to, of course, send him to the line to shoot 2, as you mentioned. And really, Cape Breton, one of those teams really that is decently good. They're 4th, of course, in the league in field goal and free throw percentage, I should mention. But one thing you have to think about if you're the Express is that one is no good. This is a team that shoots the 2nd most in the league. 29 free throw attempts per game. That is a ton of attempts, Aaron.
A ton of attempts, and, you know, they find their way to draw those fouls easily. It's the body language that matters as Loisel knocks down 2 free throws, and here comes Rayson again. Under a minute here in the first quarter. 30-24 is the score, and it has been a good quarter for both squads tonight. Here's Keith down in the corner. One-on-one against Loisel, fires a 3, goes off the side. Frazier for 3.
Yeah, able to get the second chance, rebound right there. You seen the play was originally for Shaquille Keefe to pull up for that three-pointer. Good ability and awareness to chase it down, and good block from Keith.
And here comes Otley Jr. on the drive. Over. Keith spinning, driving, racing, makes the three, goes inside with the body and gets it to go.
Yeah, able to cut in there down the baseline, move his body to the left side to go around the defender. Good layup, gets it to an 11-point lead. Shot clock off.
Impressive broken play by the Express. Driving down, trying to pass it on, but that won't do. Here comes Otley Jr. the drive, gives it up to Frazier, draws the foul. Botiford draws the Botiford with the foul.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he decided to call the foul. Maybe trying to have the logic of don't let him have any baskets. Even with that whistle, there's still 1.5 seconds to go in the quarter.
Botiford, I've seen him gel a lot with the Highlanders system, especially with a well-disciplined coach like Robert Spine. And he's been here for a number of years. Coached for the Razor Sharks back in the PBA. Coached here for the St. John's, then Mill Rats at the time, and then turned to the Riptide. Decided to take his talents far east. Shot is missed. Ali Ahmed with the shot, and that's going to be short, and that closes out the first quarter. Good display by the Express. They know what's on the line here. 36-24 is the score. We'll be back for the second quarter right after you watch this. We are back here in Windsor, Ontario, down to the WFCU Center. The Windsor Express with a 36-24 lead here as we are set to begin the second quarter here. JP being the only game in town, you know, a lot of people are tuning in and they're wondering, you know, what's the difference between this type of game style in the Atlantic Division and Central Division? If you had to answer that, what would you label it all down to?
I think for a lot of it, because a lot of the games in the Atlantic Division, from what I've seen, are very close, very back and forth, always coming down to the wire. Really, it's a more stronger defensive side division. I think for the Central Division, there's a stronger presence of offense because the top offenses, if you look at it, come from the Central Division. So really, it's a clash between very strong defensive-minded squads here, like Cape Breton, and then an offensive kind of minded team for the season in Windsor.
And we're going to have an offensive foul on the other end. And JP, I think you hit it right there on the nose because a lot of people, for most of them, they only get to experience it twice. So for all teams, they only get to experience interconference games twice a year. And then if all stars align for them, they'll meet in the finals as Halifax and London has for the last 2 years. So like I said, it's a different style of game when you go to a different arena or when you go up against a different team. But the bottom line is we got aggressive teams no matter what. No matter if it's whether it's games on the line, whether if it's a playoff spot on the line, you can bet your bottom dollar that you will always get a good contest, and that's what we're seeing right now is Ahmed almost loses DeMontre Harris off his feet, and a rejection. Otley Jr., how about that? Here's Racing down on the floor. Swings around and loses control. Ill-advised pass. And here comes the Highlanders again. Good ice cream scoop shot by Reynolds. That won't go. Express ball.
Yeah, and Otley Jr. had a good sequence of a couple different plays there. Able to get the block on Rick Bodiford, then helping lead the pressure down for the offensive side, I should say, to bring it back down to the other side. Of course, Windsor then turned it over. Then Otley Jr. forced a turnover back from Cape Breton. Good sequence of defensive plays from Otley Jr.
Studs around to Frazier. Frazier on the drive, fires it off with the right hand, no good. That was probably not his intention to fire it up at there. He's trying to look for a pass. Bodiford fakes the pass, gets the ball back on the left side, fires it, no good.
Yeah, that was a bit of a quick shot, but good rebound, and that's a bad pass.
And Bodiford's still trying to draw the traffic, so does Ovid, misses the shot. And here comes the Express. Things are getting down to the nitty-gritty. Rayson fires a three-punter there.
I can't believe Cape Breton wasn't able to score on that possession there. They had 2 or 3 wide open opportunities really with the second, third chances. And in the end, as you've seen, led to the three-pointer.
Massey, that basket won't count. He draws the foul. And the one thing to mention too on the other play, JP, that the Express had control of the ball, but we've seen 2 players trying to fight for it. So in result of that, we saw a turnover.
Yeah, exactly there. And right now, as you see, now Cape Breton going to the free throw line here. This is where I think Cape Breton needs to get slowly back things going again. You mentioned before, and it's probably a cliche at this point for me, the chip away part. Right now, I think Cape Breton needs to set themselves up starting from this point to basically make this a very close game or swing some momentum back their way at the very least by the time they get into the tunnels for halftime.
And we see Bruce Massey at the line connecting for the first free throw. And strangely enough, there are no games tomorrow, JP, but we're going to have a jam-packed menu around the league come Saturday night. So maybe to everybody's discretion, to everybody, that they get a sigh of relief for at least 24 hours before they go back to business.
Yeah, exactly. Really, chance to really rest, figure things out in terms of what do you want to do with your roster. Exactly the kind of breaks I think some teams look at as Otley Jr. goes in.
Otley Jr. puts it in through the traffic. Once again, showing to the fans here at the WFCU Center that he is the guy you could rely on. Bruce Massey falls away, and a steal by Bodiford. Massey on the teardrop, no good. Fight for the ball, and a teardrop by Bodiford, no good. Scrappy play over there, and Bruce Massey through the scrappy play with the teardrop. You cannot believe that.
I can't believe it either, because Rick Bodiford able to steal the inbound for one. Then they could have got that 3-4 times, took a 5th chance really on that to get itself in. So crazy possession, bad shot from Harris meanwhile.
And Massey picks up the rebound. Here we go again. So once again, don't count out the Highlanders. Massey with the J. And Bruce Massey immediately coming into the swing of things, and Bill Jones wants to talk it over. 40-29 is the score.
Yeah, I don't blame Bill Jones for calling this time out here, wanting to get everyone on the same page, even with this lead. That's exactly it. Get them on the same page defensively for sure, because there's been so many opportunities where they've had a chance to get a rebound and not allow the second, third, fourth, fifth chance. And it's just been the absolutely opposite way. I think that's one of the main things they were discussing in that hall right this second.
And another thing too, JP, the Express have only scored 4 points in this quarter thus far, and I believe 36 points has to be the highest they have scored in a quarter this season. I mean, of course, that's not record-breaking, because we've seen a few years ago that they could score 48, but 36, that's got to be their high here tonight.
Yeah, right now, yeah, exactly. I agree with you on that one for sure as they finish up these timeouts here, really. But what now this being updated to a 9-point game, I should really say, just got to make sure you get those buckets. Make smart shot selections, because a lot of these shots from the Express side, they have been really good shots, yes, but there has been some times where it's been bad shots more towards that mid-range ring, so to speak, where it's not in the key, but just in between from the three-point line to before the key. So they got to get things together.
What can you say about their rebounding?
Yeah, the rebounding, that is, I think, the biggest issue. Thank you very much, Aaron, for bringing that, because they have been not boxing out well much at all tonight, just allowing offensive rebound after offensive rebound. They got to be able to squeeze the ball, get some rebounds, or else you're going to let Cape Breton to come right back on in.
So the Cape Breton Highlanders on a 7-4 run since the start of this quarter. They want to gain the upper hand immediately before they head to their clubhouse at halftime. Here's Frazier throwing off Ahmed for the 3, and Massey picks up the board.
Yeah, not a good shot selection, and then he has seen there was a chance to get an offensive board, but walking away.
Loisel fires a 3 off the glass. Ahmed with the rebound through the traffic and all with the left hand.
Again, where was the box out there? Because you've seen it landed right in Ahmed's lap, so to speak, on that possession. You got to box it out. Not allow these offensive rebounds, or else Cape Brenton's going to close this lead up.
And Harris got the step off of Ali Ahmed and got it in himself. Expands this lead back to 9 with 8:20 to go. Here's Waterford. Waterford over. The tough shot is no good for Reynolds, and here comes the Express again. So the Express get a rebound off that defensive end, and here comes Frazier. Frazier off Stutz pick. Going one-on-one against Loisel. Pierces through the defense. He'll swing it back around to Harris. Finding Jones. And Loisel with the rebound.
Yeah, that was a step or two way too long compared to his range.
And Loisel almost walked there. He instead gives it to Massey. Here's Reynolds on the drive. Here's Ahmed from about 10. He's got it.
I seen that shot coming from a wide away because he's seen Harris backing off to focus towards the paint. Ahmed was wide open, prepared to get that pass for the mid-range jump shot. And look at this defensive effort.
Almost a steal there. Jones cross courts over to Stutz. Pump fakes 3. Goes to work on Loisel inside to Otley Jr. Shot is missed. Loisel hits the deck.
I think Ahmed got a hand on it. In fact,
Massey's J is a no-go, but the intensity for the Express when it comes to getting the rebounds, JP, has improved since that timeout.
Yeah, it has really, yeah. They've been fighting more for the rebounds, having more effort for sure on the glass. But at the same time, it's just now it seems like trying to focus while getting the box outs and setting up for a possible rebound situation. They're leaving some players open now in the mid-range shots, so you got to figure out pick your poison. Leave him open or get a board.
There's Ollie with the miss from around the free throw line, and Shaq Keith is back into the game. So you got to expect some conditioning in for Keith after coming back from his injury, but so far he's been doing it well. You have permission, Keith with the ball. Finding Stutz. Shot is missed. Alley with the rebound.
Yeah, and you mentioned Keith. You see he's getting back in the swing of things, already finding in the post, really. Not working his way slowly in back from the recovery for the injury.
Driving down the lane, Mondi inside to Ahmed, puts it up and in. Once again, the Windsor Express has no answers for Ali Ahmed. He's been getting those good looks, and if it isn't the good looks, it's the easy high-low pass inside for him.
Yeah, Ahmed's been able to get a lot of different baskets. They got to find a way to defend it better.
Stutz misses the 3. The three-point blows continue for the Express. Stutz loses control of the ball. Last touched by the Highlanders. So lucky break for Logan Stutz as they get the ball with about 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, you seen he lost the handle there. He almost was able to get his own pass back, so to speak, from that deflection too. Good to be able to keep on chasing that ball and realizing it was going to go out of bounds if I kept on trying to reach it, allowing it to bounce off a Cape Breton defender, and now they keep the possession with 20 seconds still on the shot clock, mind you, Aaron.
Almost a full shot clock for them, as Shaq Keith will be the one that will guide the inbounds pass. 42-37 is the score as we're almost halfway through here in the second quarter. Stutz high-low inside to Harris. Harris over Ahmed. Can't make the shot, so the Express have been kept scoreless within the last minute, so the Highlanders have been opening up at the door. And a foul is made right there. Duke Mondi taking it in himself. And remember, it was a 12-point game at the start of the second quarter, but now it has been cut to 5 with under 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, this run continues to grow on, and I think in part it has been the strong defense, because take that inbound play, for instance. You've seen Triton beating. He's setting up in the middle of the paint. You've seen how you might have noticed him angling his hands. He knew exactly what that play was going from Stutz to Harris, and really telling his teammates, this is going to be what's happening. It's exactly what happened. Was able to get a stop. It's those kind of examples right now why their defense is keeping them not just in the game, but helping them chip back into this lead and set up this run.
Highlanders remain perfect on the charity strike as Keith tries to spin around and it's still stolen. Here comes the Highlanders, and Keith immediately draws a foul, so it's a one-possession game between these two squads. So the Highlanders once again knocking on the door, and not a good play from Shaq Keith.
Yeah, again, reaching, and that's a bit of a frustration foul, I think. Already 5 fouls, mind you, from the Express in the quarter. Something, a bit of a rarity as that's a turnover.
And a break for the Windsor Express. And I think we mentioned this at the beginning of the telecast here, JP. The Express, despite their losing streak, their first and fewest fouls in the game. So around 20 personal fouls a game, and Jamontre Harris with the slam. So once again, the Windsor Express are maturing as the season rolls on, but they got to pick up those W's if they want to get a good playoff spot.
Yeah, exactly, because if you don't get a good playoff spot in terms of getting wins, you play London. That's going to be a tough matchup, just like that tough 3.
And Duke Mondi fires it and bombs away for him. The lead has been cut to 2 with under 5 minutes to go. Swing around pass here. Keith fires a 3, in and out. Stutz with a rebound, puts it up and in.
Good second chance rebound there to get it inside, cutting in, seeing that. But again, Shaquille Keith knew he was wide open by far. He called for it immediately. That sent that baseline pass. And already tough defense from Windsor.
And tough defense almost led to an ill-advised pass. Mondi trying to break the doubles team. Doesn't work out. Jones steals it from Ahmed. Here comes Keith down the lane with the ice cream scoop. Puts it up and in.
Yeah, that's a nice ice cream scoop for sure. Able to get it with the layup.
And there's Mondi on the J. Puts it up and in. Yeah, Mondi answering back, JP.
Yeah, answering back indeed. Windsor's now, I think, trying to kill off this run, and you're seeing the effects right now of the efforts, I should say. They're starting to break through this defense. I think they're realizing how it's being set up. Like, this is a 2-3 right now.
But the Highlanders are still outscoring them 20-12 in this quarter as Stutz fires it. No good. Jamontre Harris, all by himself, wanted the foul, but he couldn't get it. Here comes Bodiford on the other end. Bodiford driving on the pull-up. No good. What a good save by Beatty. And here's Mondi, double team. And 3 in the key has been called, so we'll go the other way.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a costly turnover, really, because there was the open 3 setting up just before that whistle went off, too. So you don't have that 3 in the key. You turn this into a 1-point game, so that is a bit of a mental mistake, so to speak, there from the defensive side. Substitutions, meanwhile.
Small plays are crucial. Small, crucial plays like that can make or break the game. We see substitutions, like you said. And we're going to have a foul by Bruce Masty.
Yeah, one of those substitutions we should note is Sefton Barrett. Look at it, number 12 on the court. Sefton Barrett, of course, making his first appearance on that substitutions that we just mentioned for the Windsor Express, Aaron.
Sefton Barrett's first game in the red and black after training with them the last 2 days. Here's Frazier looking for Stutz, and he got it to Stutz. That was a tough pass right there, no matter how tall you are, JP. Very
tough pass because there was 2 or 3 defenders surrounding Stutz there, and look at this steal.
Loose ball on the ground. Finding it is Osayandi. Couldn't get the shot to go. Here comes Jones down the lane. Jones finding space. No good. And a foul.
Yeah, they're going to say, I think it's an elbow there. And there's a technical.
We have a technical foul right here. And trust me, that's something the Highlanders don't need. They were on a fresh streak in the start of the second quarter, and you don't want that. So we're going to see how this plays out. The Express will get the possession, of course, but once again, you don't want that when the game is oh so close.
Yeah, this is what I just mentioned. Mental mistakes. That's going to be on Triton Beatty because he had the frustration throwing the ball against the stanchion. So now, of course, he's going to go to the bench because Coach Spong does not stand for that, as you see, going right to the bench. Technical by Keith.
2 quick fouls on Beatty, the common and the technical foul right there. And Tyjon Beatty could be the guy that could do it all for the Highlanders, but I have a feeling he's going to be sitting out for the rest of the half as we see Sefton Barrett on the inbounds pass. Here comes Jones. Sefton Barrett could be a guy that could add a lot of brute force and depth for this Windsor Express squad. We'll just see how he plays out with the red and black. Here's Barrett, loses control of the ball immediately, and it is backcourt violation. He was this close from saving it.
Yeah, that close right there, but for one, it would have been a backcourt violation if he was able to save it. But two, you got to be able to handle that pass because he was open on the three-point line. No for the quick trigger, already first turnover in the red and black.
Loisel, one-on-one against Keith. Finding Massey. No good. Quick rebound, Osayandi gets the shot to go, and that was over Chad Frazier.
Yeah, over Chad Frazier, just able to get the second rebound, able to get the separation with the pump fake, gets the basket. Still a 5-point game.
Here's Frazier fighting through everybody, through 3 defenders, gets it inside.
Yeah, good Euro step there. Of course, Frazier, I think, wanted the call, but still able to get through the traffic regardless.
Speaking of going through the traffic, Massey tried to go through, and he draws the contact.
Yeah, I think that's a mixture of frustration, foul, and, of course, that contact as mentioned because Frazier already called for a second foul. Just one away from the bonus here with 2 minutes to go in part because of that.
No more fouls to give for the Express. On the other hand, the Highlanders still have 3 fouls to give as we approach the 2-minute mark here in Windsor, Ontario. And we would like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nordstrom halftime at the conclusion of this quarter. We'll break down the stats for you and talk about what's going on in the NBLC.
Yeah, we will have a lot to discuss for sure because it's been basically a battle of good defense and good offense, so to speak, and it's been flipping like a light switch, so to speak. When one team's been having a good offense, the other team's been struggling on offense but having good defense, or vice versa so far.
Control hasn't stayed dormant throughout this game. It's been a game of runs so far. Keith on the Loisel, no basket. That's an offensive foul.
Yeah, good charge drawn by Loisel there. And of course, I think that's going to already lead to a substitution as well.
And it will. So we're going to see Anthony Ontley Jr. in his place as Kevin Loisel will guide the inbounds pass. Bigelow had a double-double last night. Bondi driving. Loses control, fights inside, fires it from 7 and gets it to go.
Yeah, you've seen the traffic. They were able to fade away from it to get the basket. And again, once again, one possession game because of that.
Here's Frazier going to work off the left hand, no good. And a good rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball. It's going to go the other way. So the Highlanders will get the ball back with 1:16 to go before halftime.
Yeah, that was, of course, close to trying to reach away for a steal for Frazier, but again, just too many bodies around and already hugging the ball with Cape Breton player, as you see.
Mondi gets off Osayandi's pick, defers, and Osayandi gets free and loses control of the ball off his knee.
Yeah, just, you got to get that kind of pass, really. Although it did get a bit difficult with Stutz inside the paint. Unable to hang on to the pass, turns it over. Chance for Windsor to make a 2-possession game.
We're down to a minute here in the first half, 53-50. The Express with the lead over the Highlanders. Here's Frazier, trying to look for options. He finds it in Jones back up top. Jones on the drive, loses control. Loisel with the steal. Here comes the Highlanders with numbers and a dunk. Barely by Massey. The donut missed the coffee. Unbelievable.
How do you miss that kind of dunk wide open? I'm not sure.
I think it was a little bit too ambitious. And here's Osayandi through the traffic.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be going to send Cape Breton regardless to the line. Yeah, that's on Sefton Barrett, his first career foul with the Express. But right now, this has been one of those situations we mentioned before. This was a 12-point lead. It's now potentially can go down to a 1-point lead just before halftime.
It has been pretty helter-skelter between both of these teams so far. In a game of runs, nobody has gained control. And the majority of this game has been back and forth, and just like that, the Highlanders almost avenge a 12-point deficit at the start of the quarter as they trail 53-52. Shot clock, game clock identical. Pretty much they're twins. 14 seconds to go. Maurice Jones will dribble it out, look for the final shot. Jones falls a three. No good. And here's Loisel with down to 2 seconds to go. And a shot by Bigelow, no good. And we are at halftime. Everybody's going to recess. It's 53-52 the score. The Windsor Express pulling through a narrow lead. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the Knockstrom halftime for you up here at the booth. You are watching the Windsor Express on Knockstrom TV.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash Money, love my Cash Money.
All right, 53-52 is the score at halftime. Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince with you as we welcome all of you back here. But JP, impressive game so far, but once again, nobody has been able to steer control of this game. I mean, we've seen Bruce Massey trying to drive down the lane. We see Jose Yandy, so pretty much the bigs keeping this Highlanders team together.
Yeah, exactly, because you've seen them fighting inside and getting those second chance rebounds all game long, really, and able to draw contact, not only just the contact, but able to make the baskets to get this lead chipped down, because as we mentioned multiple times, 12-point lead, already down to a 1-point lead because of these runs, and as you mentioned, because of the big men.
And the Windsor Express, they haven't found any of their X factors working that well so far, because we've seen within the last few minutes one of the reasons why this lead has been cut down to 1 has been the turnovers. I'm like, who do you amount to when it comes to a situation like that?
I think with the turnovers, you gotta find a way to get the ball into your ball handler's hands, so to speak, because it's been a lot of times those turnovers, as you mentioned, have been sloppy ones, where turnover off an inbound, turnover off a pass inside the paint, surrounded by 4 different defenders. So I think it's partly get the ball into your main ball handler's hands, like a Maurice Jones or something, to try and set it up for your teammates to get an assist, as well as making smarter decisions with the ball, not just with the passing, but with the shooting, to be able to keep the possessions and potentially set things up for good baskets, and not just baskets in contested traffic surrounded by 3-4 players at times.
And we've seen Sefton Barrett get on through the course of the first time as the Windsor Express. Not a good performance from him so far, but yet once again he's got to gel. 1 turnover and 1 foul to his name. What can the bench do to bring this team back to a possible victory and to be able to get the attitude back up and rolling for the Windsor Express?
I think to get the bench going, really, to get this lead down, it's going to take, in part, maybe trying to work a bit more of Sefton Barrett into the system, maybe play him a little bit more starting in the third quarter, because even with those statistics, he was still fighting for rebounds, trying to help out his team in any way he can. And with that turnover, he had the chance potentially for a shot. If he can fix the minor mistakes, he might be able to help things out. With the bench in general, though, I think it's going to come down to guys like Otley Jr. becoming more of a step-up guy, really, with the defense, really, when he comes off the bench, so to speak, when he's going from the court to the bench, back onto the court. They need guys like him to step up. You also need to get potentially get Grayson coming into the offense, because he's taken a few decent shots, but he's been fairly quiet himself tonight. So if you get guys that are, are good offensively and strong defensive players work back into the game really and get their rhythm going, they're in a good position with the bench.
Let's stand off from this game for a moment and talk about what's going on about the NBLC. As we mentioned, this is the last game of their back-to-back series for the Highlanders because they traveled down the west as of late, and yesterday they played in the auditorium against the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans, winning 135-117, and with that, we point to some of the issues for the KW Titans. They haven't gelled yet. They traded some players around. Serge Landris, of course, not happy with the performance as of lately. What have been some of the key problems for them this year?
I think part of the key problems is, one of the key problems I should say, is the fact that there hasn't been enough, they haven't really gelled as much, especially on the offensive side, because when they play defense very well, for example, some of the games against London, we've seen this being a prime example, they've had a strong game. Offensively, they've struggled from the field specifically, and having those chances, especially from the field, inside the paint, mind you, in some of those situations, which is going to kill people, or kill teams, I should say. Add on to the fact that, as the season's going on, that in the other games, they haven't been able to keep up because of that offense. Doesn't matter if you have a strong defense, if you can't keep up on the scoreboard in a high-scoring Central Division, you're not going to be able to keep up in terms of the win column at the end of each game, really. Because that's exactly it. You gotta fix things together on the offensive side. That is, I think, the main thing for Kitchener-Waterloo.
And they got a lot of high talented players. You got a lot of starts coming in like gangbusters, knocking down shots as he can. And then you got Dramar Sutherland and eventually the return of Ed Horton. Let's go over to the Atlantic Division. It was about a matter of weeks ago, JP, that the Halifax Hurricanes were sitting in second or the third seed in that division, but within the last number of games, they have climbed back into first place. And I think one of the pure evidence of them going back to the top is that victory this past Sunday afternoon against the London Lightning. How do you describe their efforts so far?
Yeah, their efforts so far, I think, is the Atlantic's been a very close division to start off, really. The way they've been able to fight back, as you mentioned, with that most recent game, is just absolutely amazing, really. It's just showing how they are as a group throughout the entire season to be able to fight back, be able to get the baskets, and as well, play strong defense. Able to snap the winning streak, mind you, and part of that, too, so very strong time in the Atlantic Division to move from third back to the first spot again.
An impressive standout for the Atlantic Division so far, but as for the Central Division, it seems like all the stars are aligning for all four teams, but once again, the Windsor Express still trying to retain a playoff spot, and then for the other ends, we see Niagara right behind them in third place, well, right in front of them actually, and then St. John's and London trying to fight for that place, but once again, the London Lightning looking like the championship team for last year. And one thing we need to mention, as mentioned about a few hours ago, Royce White has been put on the inactive list due to taking care of some personal matters down in the Minneapolis area, so we'd like to extend our well wishes to the White family over there. They got a big game here this Sunday afternoon against the Windsor Express, and I don't think they'll have a lot to suffer about this Sunday.
Yeah, because Windsor's coaching staff has said this themselves, some of the assistants, when I've talked to them when they've gone to London. London is a very deep team. We've seen that all season. We've seen that during the winning streak with the scoring. We've seen that once they turn the offense around after struggling at the start of the season with London. So, Royce White or not, it's going to be an absolute challenge, I think, for Windsor, because you still have Ryan Anderson, Garrett Williamson, Kyle Johnson. The list goes on and on to worry about once things get back going here back to the WFCU Center. So it's just one piece of the equation, really. I said this during the Facebook Live pregame. I'll say this once again. Royce White is, while a former MVP, still a decent part, of course, of the offense. Subtract him, you still have an 11 players to worry about, Aaron.
Well, there you have it right there for the Knoxstrom halftime. 1 point game, 53-52 is the score. I think we covered a lot going on here around the league, and we hope that we got you covered right there. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back, and before you know it, we'll have second half action right here in the WFCU Center. You're watching the Windsor Express on Knoxstrom TV.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans, for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money. Hey.
About to get the second half underway here at the WFCU Center. 1-point edge for the Windsor Express as they play the Cape Breton Highlanders here on Knoxstrom TV. And we welcome you back right here. This is Aaron Sanders with JP, Justin Prince. So what should we expect from the Express coming right out of the gate here?
I think for the Express, you got to expect them to, for one, want to get things going offensively rolling. But two, I can expect them, once on the defensive side, to try and get a big time stop. And if they can get the big time stop, set up the fast break and go for the basket to try and get a bit of breathing room on the score sheet. So, as everything gets getting ready to go, I expect Windsor, really, to possibly go either for the perimeter or try and cut inside on a pick and roll for a big play.
And we start the second half with Logan Stutz putting it up and in with the reverse.
Well, I was somewhat right going inside where Logan Stutz was open inside, able to get the layup. Now they got to get the defensive stop here at the early going.
Highlanders trailed by 12 at the start of the second quarter. They dropped it to 1 point. So now they're back into the game. Beatty on the pull-up, no good. The good rebound by DeMontre Harris, once again making a household name of himself in any here in Windsor. Here's Stutz, pull-up three, no good.
Now it's going to be huge, but look at this.
Jydron Beatty, baseball pass, gets it a go.
Yeah, Logan Stutz, after missing the three-pointer, was not there quick enough, did not notice that Beatty was sprinting behind him to get that basket for the transition.
Here's Harris on the drive, baby hook, no good. And a quick rebound by Osiandi. Here comes Massey.
And there was Beatty down there again too, fist pumping the balls especially to set up the rebound. Keith gets his own rebound.
And Shaq Keith on his own with the board. As the Express have a 55-54 lead just underway here in the second half. Keith, double team, loses control of the ball, gets it back up. But that's going to be a travel, I believe. But no, wait a minute, hold the phone. It's a Cape Breton foul. Once again, could have gone either way.
Yeah, could have gone either way. I thought that was a travel too, really, because he lost the handle and his pivot foot moved as he was trying to pick it up, back up, sliding it across the floor. Windsor possession.
And that is Bruce Massey's second foul of the evening. Jones over to Stutz, try to look for Keith, and luckily Massey was there to deflect it. So the Express will deal with 9 seconds on the shot clock. They'll inbound it from the baseline. Breaking through is Chad Frazier.
Yeah, good backdoor play there. I think the play was originally go to Stutz, but then Frazier was able to cut down the baseline. No one was inside there under the cylinder. Sets it up for the easy two.
A good impromptu baseline pass. That led to those 2 points. Mondi Balls away, gives it to Osayandi, off the right hand, puts it in.
Yeah, that's going to get a bit of a wishy-washy game, I guess, to start off this third quarter. Working his way through the traffic again for another nice layup. Here's the pick and roll.
Frazier off the PAR. Here's Keith, fires a three, send it home.
A good play for Shaquille Keith, able to get the triple. Might try and get him going offensively, really, with that basket.
And another steal by the Express. Here they come in motion. Keith to Stutz, puts it in.
Yeah, and again, Shaquille Keith, he was the one reaching into that, forced the turnover there, so this is exactly, I think, what Windsor needed. Getting those kind of plays where you get a big offensive possession and then a big-time turnover to set up some gap.
Bigelow over, three-pointer, no good. Stutz with the rebound. Jones fights through. There's Frazier. 3-2 zone applied and things switches around. Frazier on the jumper, no good. Harris picks it, keeps it alive, and it will go the Highlanders' way.
Yeah, just couldn't get the putback there, unable to squeeze the ball on the third chance, really.
Bigelow to Massey. Massey going up, but Stutz won't have any of it. Here's Mondi with the teardrop. No good. Osayandi picks up the board. No good. Foul down low.
Yeah, able to draw the contact there. Again, Cape Breton, just their second foul of the quarter here.
Express foul.
Oh, that's good for the Express, pardon me. That's their first foul, I should say. Pardon me.
And DeMontre Harris's second foul. Once again, the Windsor Express know a thing or two about rationing their fouls and knowing when to grab and when not to. So once again, the maturity level is rising for this team, but once again, those W's won't hurt at all.
Yeah, Windsor in a must-win situation, really, standings-wise, as you mentioned. So this is getting to where they need to try and get things together. As Brett Hedges has told me multiple times on the Windsor Lancer side, that if depending on how things go by the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, that will really tell you about how this thing ends. My goodness.
And a quick foul and a poke to Logan Stutz. So he's going to take some time to compose himself, and he does. And to counter with what you guys talk about on the Lancers broadcast is something that my color commentator Royal Church and I talk about during the St. Clair Saints telecast, that it might come down to the first 3 minutes of the third quarter and see who will gain control. And we've seen that so far as Jones hits the three.
And Jones able to step back off the inbound to get the triple. They definitely want to keep that control, as you mentioned right there.
Massey, the J, no good. And Harris rather, with the rebound. Keith going to work. Spins around, fires it with the right hand, and a beauty. And a timeout by Rob Spahn. And a good timeout right there. The Windsor Express trying to break through here, and that's a good stop as Bill Jones acknowledges the squad here with 7:57 to go here in Windsor, Ontario.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
Welcome back here. 67 to 58 is the score. And I am going to allude to one of the Windsor Express fans over here. Christine Wilson said it best at halftime. The energy in here is amazing. What more do you have to say about that, JP? It's been a good game.
Yeah, it's been a good game, back and forth. No one really able to hold on to momentum. Cape Breton did at one point. But again, for the majority of this game, it's been back and forth. Everyone's been pulling like a tug of, like pulling back and forth the momentum, trying to get things together here. No one's been able to really, since the second quarter, get a run.
In a tug-of-war game as DeMontre Harris goes in with no problems. And the lead is now 11.
Yeah, again, Windsor maybe starting to pull their rope and pulling Cape Breton into the mud a little bit because Cape Breton's offense is starting to stall out a little bit with that miss.
The Windsor Express gaining control. They want to see their 3-game losing streak come to an end here tonight. Tough ride to the basket, but Stutz bails him out.
Yeah, that was a tough drive. Able to get the contest there was Cape Breton, but for them, the back door was still open, wide open with Stutz. Able to get the 2.
Big low to Osayandi, draws the foul.
Yeah, I think that's just Windsor's second foul of the quarter, really, but just kind of shows how the defense is really stepping up with Windsor. Not many opportunities, really, for Cape Breton, and a lot of missed shots when they have had those opportunities. I think Cape Breton needs to start doing things. Of course, they've already started with those adjustments, bringing Rick Boniford back in, possibly maybe thinking, okay, the defense isn't quite enough when their offense is starting to stall out. Let's bring in a guy like Boniford to start lighting the scoreboard up possibly again.
And they have to light up the scoreboard. They average 105 points per game, so something has to work out for them as we approach the 6-minute 40 mark here in the third quarter. Windsor Express trying to keep it. So do the Highlanders. They want to go 3 in a row themselves. And here's Harris once again working the room. DeMontre Harris, he's having a monster game.
A monster game, and they keep on letting him open on that one. You've seen there, no one was really guarding him whatsoever really that hard until he got inside.
Osayandi, his woes continue inside. The Express pick up, full locomotive in motion. Frazier, Keith. No good, off the front. Big low with the rebound. Keith trying to guard him, and he does. What a major pick, an offensive foul by Kevin Loisel.
Way too strong of a pick really there. Way too strong.
My goodness. Loisel's just shaking his head off of that. He thought it was a perfectly timed pick.
Yeah, that's already the third team foul in the second there, but yeah, strong pick for sure, but it was a little, I think, too strong, which of course led to that call really, with Shaquille Keith falling back.
Loisel backs off, Maurice Jones has the ball. Here's Stutz, fakes it over to Rayson. Rayson one-on-one against Massey. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Keith, Rayson, a risky pass. 3 on the shot clock. Rayson from deep, no good. Motley Jr. picks up the board uncontested.
Yeah, right now, Windsor, you can see trying to spread out this clock, possibly wanting to slow down this tempo.
8 on the shot clock, Jones all by himself, no good. And Loisel fights his way to box out, and it works out for him. It's Highlanders ball.
Yeah, that did work out for them, that's for sure. Able to get the bucket, not being able to get the bucket, I should say. Cape Breton, good defensive strategy there and good on the box out.
Here's Loisel. Loisel, one-on-one against Otley Jr., drives inside with the left hand, puts it in.
Yeah, good working through the defense, really, weaving a bit back and forth as he cut inside. Still a 13-point lead, though, as I think they just got some help there because Windsor, I think, just... No, there's going to go against Cape Breton, pardon me.
So it's going to be Ali Ahmed who picks up his first foul, apparently.
Yeah, I think he was trying to reach in on Stutz coming up the floor. I thought originally it might have been on the Express, but now the Express getting a chance to reset for their possession here.
Desmond Hubert comes in, taking on the assignment against Ali Ahmed. Otley Jr. up, no good. Second chance, no good. Fight for the ball, it will stay the Express way with almost a fresh shot clock.
Yeah, 22 seconds on the shot clock there. Hubert unable to get the rebound, but a little bit of a shot to the face from the ball, really, for Bodiford, because as he was trying to tap for that rebound, it bounced off Bodiford. That's why Windsor has this possession back. Jones
down to the corner, going off the pick. Grayson fires a three, and no good. A rebound by Loisel. So far, Loisel has been redeeming himself after that brutal pick. So now the Highlanders got the adrenaline back on their side. The shot is no good, but nothing doing because they're off to the line.
Yep, they're off to the line here. Remember when I said that it's been back and forth? Well, Windsor, I think, has just decided, you know what, let's not make it back and forth anymore, really. But again, this is what exactly I really said was they needed to really have big plays, then get a big defensive stop to be able to spread this back out. And that's exactly what's happened. Missed free throw, though, for Cape Breton. They cannot miss the free points from the free throw line.
Yeah, they cannot allow any more fouls in there because, once again, the Express are one of the best teams when it comes to going down to the charity stripe. So they really have to be careful on the next defensive ends throughout, as that free throw is good for Bruce Massey.
Can't force anymore, really.
And here comes Jones. So it's been a good game so far. The Windsor Express trying to pull away from it. Keith trying to go one-on-one against Loisel. He backs off, goes back up top. 9 on the shot clock, goes inside. It's double team, fires away, no good. Huber trying to fight for it. Oh, that's a hard fall. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a jump ball, though. I think that's going to the hour. What? No, there's a technical.
We have a technical foul that's going to be on Ahmed. You know what? I'm just saying, from the broadcaster's perspective, I am glad that nobody got a concussion from that, because from the looks of it, Desmond Hubert hit his head real hard on the floor.
Yeah, bouncing it off the floor with the rebound attempt. Of course, the technical lead.
It was Rick Bodiford who got the technical foul. I was looking up.
I don't know what Bodiford did for the technical, to be honest, because you've seen a few different players pleading his case really after the call.
They're gonna have double fouls on the play, JP. They're gonna pin that to Shaq Keith, and you're hearing the Boo Birds here at the WFCU Center. So they will offset. I didn't see any problems right there. Yep, double technicals. That's going to be on Bodiford and Keith. Once again, it was a good fight for the ball. A lot of people hit the deck, and then, of course, you have the reactions right after. But it's going to go the other way. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm going to check the tape as much as we can here to figure out what just happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the court.
Logan Studs comes back in the interim, so as soon as we check the tape on that, JP, please feel free to elaborate, because there was a lot of pileups going on in that cloud of dust. Anyway, we get back to the live action here with 3:48 to go. 12-point game. Loisel, and a good feed inside, but that wouldn't go. And a good fight for the ball, my goodness.
Good fight for the ball, and I think that double foul might swing the momentum a little bit.
Jones up and in, count it, and a foul. What was that about the adrenaline, JP?
Never mind, because I think that Maurice Jones heard and said, you know what momentum switch, because Windsor just got the N1 on that one.
I hope we don't get in trouble with Maurice Jones after the game. Could we talk to him? As that free throw is missed, we're going to have a lane violation. They'll do over.
And I'm looking back at where the double foul happened. Looking at it, Rick Bodiford was one of those players inside the traffic. The reason I think it's a double foul is Shaquille Keith, as I was looking at the tape, as that double foul, as the technical was being called, was discussing something with the referees. So I think they decided to go make it the double foul for that off-the-ball conversation as the play was still going on, mind you.
And what a jump in. Tydron Beatty swoops in, and the basket counts. But once again, JP, I think they were right on making that call. Most people would say it's a heat of the moment, but once again, when you reach a very aggressive play like that, you know, anything goes. So you're best off to back away from that, and the referees did a great job canceling out everything and making sure everything remains neutral on the playing field. We see Tyron Beatty going to the line, and he gets it to go. But man, on that last offensive play for the Highlanders, Tyron Beatty almost tickled the Raptors with that follow-through and the foul. Grayson gets dragged.
And
are they going to count it? No basket.
yeah, that was a very hard foul. I think the momentum is swinging a little bit. They got to keep the emotions in check. I'm going to say that if it leans towards the way it's starting to feel a little bit.
Yeah, you don't want this game to go helter-skelter. And we have another whistle.
Yeah, I think that one is going to go against Rayson.
Now things are getting interesting here.
No, it's on Lindsey Hunter, pardon me.
Hunter into the game. Once again, a good acquisition for them at the beginning of the year, JP.
Yeah, a good acquisition from him, but he was the one who got the foul called on him, not Rayson there, I should mention. So yeah, he's been a pretty good acquisition. But this is getting a little bit back and forth as Rayson's going to go and shoot the second free throw here.
For a number of viewers who've been wanting to hear this phrase all night, this game might be getting out of hand, so neutral ground has to be established here. Almost 3 minutes to go here, 78-66 here on Knoxham TV. Loisel, good feed inside the basket. What a block by Otley Jr. It'll stay Cape Breton's way.
Yeah, good block from Otley Jr., but that went off of Jones, as you've seen. Going to set up for a second chance now because of that deflection.
Inbounds pass goes to Loisel. Over to Massey immediately. Loisel in. Gets it to go. A tough shot.
Very tough shot. I wonder if he thought he had the contact at first, but is still able to make the bucket. And there's another technical.
That's a technical on Robert Spahn. Well, there's one thing for certain, JP. Everybody's filling up the stat sheets in terms of fouls. I'm assuming that's on Rob Spahn. So Braylon Rayson off to the line. The Express will get the possession as well, and it circles the drain and goes down.
Yeah, this is not really that good. I think it might have been, I think it was a team called technical, which I believe is for the bench. Might have been forced potentially the bench itself. But you got to keep the emotions in check in this kind of game.
This has been an interesting third quarter. Otley Jr. inside.
Good basket, getting it over Loisel for the basket with the little hook shot too. 13-point game.
Beatty over Stutz. And boy, flat as day-old soda. And the crowd's letting them hear it. Hubert on the inbound. Loisel heavily guarding Jones. He'll let go. 2:15 to go. Jones. Here's Rayson. Rayson down to the corner. Swoops inside. Counted and a foul. Braylon Rayson once again taking charge of the body language.
Yeah, taking charge, driving in, getting the N1. And again, working through. Windsor starting to, with all the little bit of confusion for the past couple minutes, taking advantage really to be able to sprint this back out and take whatever momentum is being left on the table at this point.
Duke Mundy coming back in after that foul. Braylon Rayson off to the line. And there it goes.
And completing a three-point play there. Of course, he had a quiet first half too, so good to get your players on the bench, like mentioned, like him, involved.
Otley Jr. with the foul, on the other hand. With 2:02 to go in the third quarter. So this has been a really promising start to the second half here. I mean, amidst all the confusion and all the activity that happened off the ball, this has been a pretty good third quarter, but it's been the Windsor Express that has remained in control throughout. Here's Mondi. Mondi gets double teamed. Loisel bails him out. And a good pat right there, but Beatty cleans it up. Beatty on the drive, 4 seconds on the shot clock. What a block. Desmond Hubert again. Here's Otley Jr. driving. Almost throws the ball away. Loose ball on the floor. Otley Jr. saves it. And we'll have a quick foul. The basket won't count.
Yeah, and I think, of course, Windsor's still in the bonus now here, regardless of that. But you're seeing the strong defensive statement I think Windsor's trying to make here, because they have the larger side with a 3-forward, 2-guard lineup, essentially, trying to get the player set up so it is much harder for Cape Breton to drive inside like they have at times for this game. I think that's exactly why they got the swap and the pass substitution. We've seen on that last possession that it is working out, really, and we've seen it time and time again at parts of this game as well.
This game has gone flip-flop for the first 2 quarters, with the Express regaining control as they lead 18 with 1:38 to go. Bigelow gets the step on Racing and misses the easy shot. And a foul on the play. That's going to be on Logan Stutz.
Yeah, and with that, you've seen it was a good shot, just couldn't make it, and of course that's going to put Cape Breton in the bonus now.
Both of these clubs are over the limit, so we're going to see Antonio Bigelow at the line. It misses it.
Yeah, you got to make those free throws at this point, because look at this lead. It's ballooned to 18 points. You got to make any shot you can or points you can at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing a bit more of a more intense and serious full court press or full court trap.
Frazier trying to go off Hubert's pick. He does. Alley-oop inside to Hubert. Oh my! Where do you get those hops, young man? On the other end, Duke Mondi picks up the foul. Man.
Should say draw the foul. I think that was on Hubert for the foul, but my goodness. Just able to lift up, get some separation inside traffic, mind you, for that slam dunk, the hard slam dunk. Getting the crowd really awake here at the WFCU Center, exactly what you want to see. And by the way, he got his hops from the University of North Carolina, Aaron.
There you go. He just suplexed gravity right in the center of that. And Desmond Hubert lights this crowd up. And that is the first dunk of the game here tonight. Otley Jr. one-on-one against Beatty. Can't fight him off. Here's Racing down, 10 on the shot clock, bites inside. Stutz keeps it alive, puts it up, draws the foul.
Yeah, drawing more contact again. Windsor going to the line to shoot 2. You've seen that with the traffic around, able to get the pump fake, getting it off the elbow. And now Stutz has a chance to make a 20-point game. Lucier's going to potentially come in here, though.
And he will, following these free throws, it appears to be.
Yeah, Mike Lucier, I should say.
So Logan Stutz goes off to the line. Once again, this is not a team you want to send to the line because they have improved heavily when it comes to these situations. There were so many games last year, JP, where we talked about during the pre-game, the halftime, and the post-game show that the Express really need to close out these games, and free throws was one of their vices. They're not showing anything of that here tonight because they have been hitting free throws from here on out.
Yeah, continually hitting free throws. Not many 1-for-2s throughout the entire game, but I think this third quarter, they've just taken the momentum, taken the rope from the tug of rope, and have just walked away essentially, but there's still enough time in the fourth quarter for a possible comeback. Loisel
on the reverse cuts the lead into 18 with 25 seconds to go. We have a 5-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Game clock 14, shot clock 8. Shot clock at 5. Frazier with the rainmaker, no good. And there's Massey down with 3. Fights all the way, goes off a Lucier. And there was a second left on the clock before it went out of bounds, JP, so I'm assuming they're going to put some extra time back on.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to be adjusting here on the scoreboard. Already the score table doing exactly that. But this is enough time, just barely enough time, I think, to get a shot off. Roy, you got to either go inside, try and set up a quick alley-oop kind of play, or potentially set up a screen, get a quick trigger shot on the perimeter if you want to get any kind of points, Roy, to get this to a bit more manageable for the fourth quarter.
Now here, 0.3 seconds on the clock. I could have swore they should have put an extra, they should have put a second on there even, because from what it looks like, the clock ran out for at least half a second, so they should have got more time on that. 90-72 with 0.3 of a second to go. Loisel on the catch and shoot and misses it, and that's the story for the third quarter. The Windsor Express opening up a big wound for the Highlanders as they lead 90-72. We'll be back with the fourth quarter action right after this message and a word from Knoxstrom TV.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
And it's fourth quarter time here at the WFCU Center. Welcome back here. It's the Highlanders and the Windsor Express. The Express with an 18-point edge, as you can see on your screen. Aaron Sanders and Justin Prince back with you. And you better believe, JP, that both of these clubs needed a breather after what has been a very interesting third quarter.
Yeah, that's to say the least. It got very physical, to say the very least, in terms of the plays inside, the amount of fouls seen from both sides in the quarter. And again, keeping emotions in check again, and one of the main things, I think one of the few things might be said coming to this fourth quarter at this point. Going to be curious to see how things roll out in the fourth. If you're Cape Breton, I think you got to step it up quick and not let it get like that. Get some stops quick.
Frazier. Lucier for the three. Got it.
And that's not a good start, I think, defensively, that I was kind of saying there. That's going to make a 20-plus point lead, leaving them open.
Mike Lucier, one of those players that'll help you out off the ball. Tydron Beatty through the traffic. He draws a foul. So immediately right there, the Highlanders turning up the Jets.
Yeah, turning up the Jets, getting inside. But of course, you mentioned Mike Lucier, somebody we have seen at times. Lucier, of course, calling for the foul on that. Somebody that usually, of course, as mentioned, comes off the bench and has not really seen as much time as expected. 15-minute games played, I should say, as the first goes. But for Lucier, as you mentioned, somebody that if you give him a shot, he will take advantage. But I will say this, that three-pointer, first of the season for him.
That's his first three, Mike Lucier. Good for him in the red and black, as the lead is now 93-73. More than 30 seconds into this fourth quarter. There's Frazier, gets the step on Massey, tries to get the hezzy dribble off him, loses control, fight for the ball once again, and Desmond Hubert saves the day. Here's Otley Jr. spinning down the lane, 3 on the shot clock, no good.
Too much traffic inside, and that you've seen the result, quick pace.
Beatty for the 3, no good. Imagine the way Otley Jr. tightrope the sideline for the rebound. That describes hustle at its best. Here's Frazier. Has a tough assignment. Fires it over. The shot's no good. Lucier trying to fight for the ball. He'll stay with Windsor.
Now you've seen the fight for the rebound there, Lucier. That almost landed in his lap for the rebound, but it bounced back off the floor. Windsor keeps possession regardless.
Braylon Racing gets the ball. They shied away from the backdoor pass again. Racing. Finding Frazier. Frazier on the feed. Otley Jr. one-on-one against Bondi. Fights his way, 3 on the shot clock, draws the foul.
A good little up and under, drawing the whistle. Now again, went to line to shoot 2.
His second and team first. In the game for Cape Breton, number 22, Shane Osayandi.
Shane Osayandi checking back in, JP, and once again, he's one of those players that have been consistent as of late. So this is probably the tools Cape Breton needs to come back from behind.
Yeah, exactly. Osayandi, as you mentioned, somebody that you really have been glowing on, and on the way here was somebody that you really you love to see, and you're seeing now this is part of the comeback opportunity here, having him step up. We'll see what happens. You have to have Massey too.
Massey on the fall away, no good. Lucier with the good rebound.
Yeah.
Frazier skips to Grayson. No good. And there's a rebound.
Yeah, too much oomph on that ball there.
And Massey with the 3. It's no good. He's off to the line to shoot 3 free throws.
Yeah, that is not the smartest foul there. The quick pace, as you're seeing from Cape Breton there, just drawing the whistle really from the three-pointer shot, just possibly on the hand. You can't really do that at this point. That shot might have not gone in regardless.
That's got to hurt if you're the Windsor Express.
I don't know if they're hurting too much with it being a 94-73 game, but again, those kind of little things could give teams like their opponents a spark. This could be the spark.
Massey's off to the line, shooting 3 free throws, misses the first one. Windsor Express 94, the Highlanders 73. Once again, the Highlanders average about 103 points per game. They're a far cry from that here tonight. The Windsor Express, on the other hand, trying to reach their quota of about 103 points per game. They're en route of that.
Yeah, they definitely have been en route for that all night long, really, with how they've been playing, with how they've been shooting. And for a team that allows about 4 points more than they score a game, a strong defensive statement. But again, still 10 minutes to go. A lot can change here with the trap.
Full court trap applied by the Highlanders. Otley Jr. Race into Lucier. Lucier thought about it for a second. He gets flustered. Otley Jr. going to work against Osayandi. What a rejection again. 3 on the shot clock. Otley's got to go to work. Fires away. No good. And here comes the big break. Massey to the basket. Rebound by Hubert. Loses control. And Beatty with the little dippity doodah. No good.
I'm surprised there wasn't a whistle there for the reach-in from Massey. But again, you have the second chance there. You have to make that.
Lucier, open 3. Put her there.
Yeah, Lucier wide open again, taking advantage of all the miscommunications after what we've seen on the other end, and then our charge!
Braylon Racing sacrificing his own body for the foul and gets a little shaken up. The guy's half rubber, so he'll get up anyhow.
Yeah, he did miss time after an incident in London where he was poked in the eye socket. He missed a couple games from that, so somebody that's been a very tough game, tough player, I should say. Windsor brings back most of their starters. I think they see what's happening on the floor in terms of the momentum swings and deciding we got to bring some starters in and keep Lucier, who's been the hot hand in the game as well.
Mike Lucier having a good game, of course. Keith down the middle. And here's Lucier. Like we mentioned, falls away, no good. Beatty. Through the traffic.
Couldn't draw the contact, and that's going to be a whistle on the reach-in.
So Mondi's going to pick up the foul. He's questioning it, but once again, his hands got caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a frustration foul again. That's already his third foul as well, and I think they might try and say it might be somewhat of a clear path foul too, because Windsor's going to the line.
And it will be. Maurice Jones off to the line. So the Highlanders got themselves in a brutal situation right now. And with Maurice Jones off to the line too, you got to think of something fast to come from behind as they now trail by 24. Ali Ahmed comes back into the game, so you can see Rob Spawn's team is taking initiative to try to pull this game back into their favor.
Yeah, they're trying as much as they can here. Just one big on the floor. It's a bit of a small ball lineup, trying to possibly go for the fast-paced offense after this shot attempt.
Down to 7 on the shot clock. Jones goes to work, try to get that crossover dribble, fires away, no good. Waterford with the rebound.
And here it is, trying to go fast-paced.
Big low, near the line, no good. Jones through the traffic with the rebound.
They're absolutely ice cold at this point because that was again another shot open. Just they are running out of time at this rate.
The Highlanders shot 54% from the field and 58% from beyond the arc last night. Tonight is a different story as Keith misses the 3. Frazier goes to work, fires away, wanted a foul, but he won't.
Yeah, that was a nifty spin move. Here's the pace though.
Mondi breaks everything up, gets the ball back. Mondi on the drive, gets the back, behind the back dribble, fires away and gets it to go.
Yeah, they gotta focus here right now. Try and get some more made shots. You can see them glancing up at the clock there for a split second. They are running out of time still, regardless. 8 minutes to go here, Aaron.
The Express trying to eat up the clock as best as they can. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Frazier down the lane. Scoop pass inside to Harris. Gets the foul.
Yeah, and you can see they played some tough defense there, but again, sending Harris again to the line.
And that will be the Highlanders' 4th team foul of the quarter. As Amontre Harris goes to the line.
Yeah, I think that was Albande's 4th foul as well, if I heard correctly, with the scores table. So a bunch of players starting to get towards that foul trouble, really, where you have to start thinking, okay, we might have to eventually intentionally foul, but at the same time, who can afford the fouls? It's going to be interesting to see as that rolls on in.
Circles the drain. So the Highlanders, they want to leave this building off on a high note, but they got a lot of work to take care of before that happens. Under 7 minutes to go. Waterford on the J. No good. Rebound by Keith.
Not the smartest shot selection, and Windsor maybe want to continue to keep on the excitement levels, as the PA announcer noted.
Constant moving. Here's Lucier for the 3, no good. And a quick pass to Mondi. Mondi with a little behind the back. Misses the shot, can't get it to go. Good rebound by Osayandi.
I think they're pressing on the offensive side regardless of the whistle there, because again, that was a horrible shot selection. Contested all the way from mid-range, just inside the key. That was not the smart shot selection. We've seen it a couple different times, really, in the past few minutes since they picked up the pace.
Logan Stutz back into the game. The Highlanders got a lot of ground to cover in pretty much short time, because after this they get a day off to travel back east to play against the Island Storm at home. The 3 is no good. Here is Keith. Jones with the ball. Frazier wanting that moment. He almost got it. Osayandi with a hand on it. He gets it. And here's Ahmed. Quick pass. Bigelow. Almost deflected. Mondi takes care of it. Falls away and stunts his face. No good. Behind the back pass, thwarted away by Ahmed. He lost control and he didn't even pay attention there for a second. So to Ali Ahmed's credit, he stayed on the ball. We have a media timeout. 101-77 is the score. Wrapping things up here at the WFCU Center when we come back. To 77 is the score. Closing up business here at the WFCU Center. 5 minutes and change left in this one. And JP, once again, the Highlanders got short time to come back into this game because they have to also worry with the fact that they're going to have a day off tomorrow, but only to travel back east. And then the day after that, Saturday, they'll have to play home to the Island Storm. So a lot of ground to cover in short time, but if there's any team that could do it, and if there's any team that could impress the league so far with their resilience, it's the Highlanders.
Yeah, they are one of those impressive teams, as you mentioned. Some team, I should say, that's really impressed me as the year has gone on. It's been a rough one for sure for them, shooting-wise, and at times on the defensive side, so they just got to be able to bounce back quickly after this matchup once they get back to the Atlantic Coast.
Quick foul right there, and it's an offensive foul. Shaq Keith likes it to his approval.
Yeah, Windsor at this point, they've just absolutely taken things away, knowing it's a must-win situation and completely running away with it after the start of the second half. I think that might have been one of the main intense focuses in that halftime locker room at this point, so you've seen the differences between the first half and the second half.
Keith going to work. A beauty.
Yeah, Shaquille Keith able to work through once again and just help symbolize how the second half has been. Just the way the effort levels have gone up 3 times at least. Times 3, I should say, compared to the first half.
Big low, deep pass. Over to Usa Yandi. Fires the 3. No good. Race it. The Express just eating time here.
Yeah, just all they have to really do with the lead as another whistle.
That's going to be on Ali Ahmed. A little too much action down low.
No,
my mistake. It's an offensive foul, JP.
Yeah, I think it was down low on the post, as that's going to be on Harris. And again, Harris with his fourth right there, but again, just a quick miscommunication.
I think he's trying.
Yeah.
I think Harris was trying to limit Ahmed's time on the court, knowing that he does have 4 fouls to his name.
Yeah, knowing that exactly. Yeah, now Harris, he's got 4 fouls himself now because of that. But still, 5 minutes to go.
And the Express has 1 foul to give. Ali Ahmed to the basket.
Able to drive inside, again working to the defense. Here we go, Windsor's going to wind this down once again. If they see the opportunity, they're probably going to go for it, of course.
The Express trying to buy time here. They taste their 3-game losing streak coming to an end. But will they pull it off? And an ill-advised pass to Racing falls out of his hands and will go the other way.
Yeah, that was a cross-court pass landing into the front row, really, of this arena, so not the smartest pass, as you mentioned.
Down the lane, a nice pass, and a foul is called.
Yeah, that's going to bring Jamal Reynolds to the line there, the Toronto, Ontario native. But with this gap the way it is, I think this is kind of what Cape Breton kind of needs, especially, as you mentioned, playing yesterday. Part of me is thinking, is it an exhaustion issue with the back-to-back at this point?
Well, pretty much you got to consider it too, because even before they came to the west side, they had a few days to rest, so you could imagine they came recharged in this game yesterday, but now once again traveling about 2.5 hours down the 401 to come here. That might be the case. So the Express will sit tight for the next 2 nights before having the big 401 game against the London Lightning at home this Sunday afternoon as Racing puts it up and in.
Good cut in there, but they're going to have definitely their hands full on the Sunday, as you mentioned, especially against a team like London.
Ahmed, good pass to Reynolds, goes to the line.
And like I was saying, they'll have their hands full, as I mentioned in the halftime. Very deep team with London. Windsor definitely, of course, knows that when I've asked them about their opinion of London each time they've gone down to Budweiser Gardens, for example. So this is going to be a challenging game for them, that's for sure.
Well, this is going to be a home-and-home series between these two squads. So Sunday they'll be here, and then a few days down the road on February 1st, they'll be at Budweiser Gardens, a tough facility to pick up a win at. And speaking of tough wins, this, if the Express pull through, will be their first home win here since that epic overtime win against the KW Titans. And that all happened on December 17th. Stutz with a 3, no good. Big rebound by Harris, a monster game by him. It'll go the other way. So to the Express credit, this will be their first home win should they cap it all off, but they can't cherish the moment that long because, once again, they got challenges ahead of them, and at the start of the month, they're going to have 6 games in the first 10 days of February, so they really need to be locked and loaded on that.
Yeah, and some of those games are going to be absolutely challenging. You have London, Niagara, then a doubleheader again at St. John's.
Here's Keith down the lane, gives it to Stutz, slams it home.
Yeah, just absolutely capping this off, and you can already tell that they're ready to bring just about everybody off the bench.
Shaq Keith saying hallelujah. What a game for him, coming back from a knee injury like he had. We thought that he was going to be out for 2 weeks, but he came back a week earlier. A sigh of relief for Harris, Stutz, Racing, and Keith as they go off the court. And we're going to see Lucier, Antoine Chandler coming in for the first time, the hometown native. Coming up next, Eric Parker. And then we're going to see Sefton Barrett back in, so a good hand for the heart of the Windsor Express here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a very strong performance, especially after the back and forth, and especially after the big run Cape Breton had, essentially the whole quarter, essentially, to make it from a 12-point lead down to a 1-point lead. Good to be able to recover in the second half and to be able to space things out for what will be a huge victory for the squad.
And for the Highlanders' credit, they won 6 of their last 10 games. They will win 6 of their last 10 games, 3 on the shot clock, however. Shot is no good. So for the Highlanders, nothing to keep their heads down about. For the Express, this could be one of their statement victories. Here's Racing downtown, no good.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those statement victories, really, because they've been essentially an up and down team throughout the entire year. Coming into tonight, around with just 7 wins on the season in general. So this is where, starting with this game, they have to make the statement. As I was trying to say, they got, of course, the game against London, but then they have to play a bunch of other teams across the league. Like you have Niagara, you have St. John's coming up, you have the Island Storm coming up, you have the River Lions coming up in that stretch, as you mentioned there. So it's going to be a very challenging schedule for the start of February.
And for the Windsor Express, they're going to be a couple and a half games behind Niagara for that third spot. They're not going anywhere in that fourth spot because it's signed, sealed, and delivered right now as this month comes to a close, should KW don't pull away, but they're going to stay in fourth place for the time being unless if they pick up a few W's, and this is where they need to start that trail as it's taken away by Mondi. He trips, and I believe that's going to be a foul on Barrett. That's going to be his third.
Express foul number 12.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, just trying to reach in. But I think it was partly just trying to stop the break, putting any hustle he can, especially coming off the bench finally. But that puts Cape Breton in the bonus here for the fourth. If they were able to make a lot of their shots in the early going into the fourth quarter, that would have been absolutely huge. Now, it's just for consolation.
Mondi knocks down the first free throw. So all but two teams are going to have their hands tied on Saturday. There's going to be two East games going on Saturday, but Sunday's going to be a difference maker because everybody's going to be zeroed in with the system, all but two teams. But nonetheless, the Highlanders will be back home to play against the Island Storm, and the Hurricanes will do battle as well, as Eric Parker's J won't fall.
He just wasn't able to make it right there.
Quick say you can three is good. Lindsey Hunter knocks down the three.
And a good shot from Lindsey Hunter, the former NBA player.
And double dribble called on Sefton Barrett. Coming up next after this game, we'll have the Knockstrom post game for you. We'll talk about what lies ahead for the Express within the next number of days and see what goes down there. Hunter trying to fire another three, can't go. A quick dive, rebound by Mondi. Good pass inside to Ahmed, gets thwarted by Rayson. Rayson, the Chandler, up and in.
Good play inside once again. Just absolutely caps things off and puts in the final daggers at this point.
Racing with the rebound, under a minute to go. So the Express, they'll go to 8 and 11, and the Highlanders will go to 7 and 12. The Express 3-game losing streak will come to a close, and the Cape Breton Highlanders 2-game winning streak will come to a close. Offensive foul.
Yeah, that's a frustration foul there from Lindsey Hunter once again. I should correct myself because, of course, there are a bunch of Lindsey Hunters. His father was one of those players in the NBA, I should say, who played for the Pistons at one point. But again, frustration foul with this coming down to the wire.
Half a minute to go here. Chandler with the ball. Here's Rayson. Rayson all by himself to the basket. Tried to draw contact, but couldn't. And a immediate foul right there on the other end. Jamal Reynolds will go off to the line.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really the last time we're going to see somebody trying to take a shot attempt for this game, the way things are going.
So the Express and Highlanders will split the season series, both of them being home victories. Last time they met, it was a close game, but the Highlanders prevailed 106 to 105 down to the wire. As for this game, a different story and different fortune foretold by the Windsor Express. Mike Lucier over. And here's Antoine Chandler. So the Express will see their 3-game losing streak evaporate, and the Highlanders will see their 2-game winning streak evaporate. 109 to 92. And that's it. JP, that's a statement win right there.
Again, we discussed this a little bit early on in this fourth quarter. Definite statement win. Huge victory for them to break this losing streak for one, and two, be able to finally get in the win column for 2018 at home. So a statement win against a very tough team that had been red hot coming into this game, and now it's about shifting that focus and the momentum from tonight to the start of their swing in the next couple of weeks.
And we're going to talk about that when we have the Knockstrom post-game when we return here at the WFCU Center in just a moment.
When it comes to cash loans, our customers will tell you there's only one choice: Cash Money. It's home of the original 300 for 20, where you can get a $300 cash loan for just $20. And with Cash Money's express approval, if you need more than $300, you can get it in minutes. And if that's not enough, we've got a kangaroo as our mascot. Okay, 300 for 20 is probably enough. So for cash loans for people who really care, come to Cash Money, home of the original 300 for 20.
Cash money, love my cash money.
109 to 92 is the final. We welcome you here up to the media booth for the Knockstrom post game. JP, one of the reasons why the Express won was their grit, their tenacity. They overcame what was a very physical third quarter. But if I have to label one player to finish the deal off of the Windsor Express, you got to tip your cats off to DeMontre Harris.
Yeah, DeMontre Harris throughout this entire game really was somebody that was a huge part of this victory. Fighting for rebounds, being able to get the ball inside and getting it closed up inside to get those baskets, as you mentioned. During that physical third quarter, he was one of the players that really helped spread the gap as things got really more and more physical. Because at times they were focused more on our players instead of him at times, leaving them open. So regardless, Harris able to fight through a very physical game at times to be a huge part of this victory, as you mentioned, in what was again a statement victory.
And one of the things is the Windsor Express all lead around the league. They're among top 5 when it comes to three-point range, but that wasn't a factor here tonight. I mean, the three-point woes continued for them, but they found a way to dig and dive right into the basket and destroy the Highlanders, a team that is not known for getting rebounds, they're not known for getting assists, but they really found a way to demolish them here tonight.
Yeah, they exactly did. That's the perfect way to put it. Demolish them, because yeah, they struggled at times on the outside, even trying to get passes at times to the outside. But in the inside, it was like a smash mouth kind of offense where a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of post plays, and driving through contact and through crowds of traffic to set up layups. So it was a huge time to set up those inside the paint points throughout this entire game. Windsor took advantage of the openings that Cape Breton left them, and even when the openings weren't there, they still took advantage. And again, helps get the offense together.
What are some of the positive statements you got to take in if you're Cape Breton here?
I think some of the positive statements, definitely the first half is one of those positive statements, especially that second quarter. The way they really chipped away, stepped it up big time on the defensive side, because it wasn't as strong of a defensive performance in the first quarter, by far. In the second quarter, they locked it down, forced a lot of turnovers, rushed down the floor a few times, were able to get a few big blocks in this game, mind you, as well, Aaron. So that was one of the main positives as well. You have to think some of the positives is the way they were able to find ways to get inside, the way they finished. Yeah, it was a major struggle the way they finished, honestly. But they were able to get those opportunities inside and keep up the second and third and fourth and fifth chances, in part because of getting inside and because, my third point, the rebounding. That was a definite positive for them until things really started to fall apart in the second half, specifically late third, early fourth quarter.
So both of these clubs split their season series. They're not going to see each other again. That's it for them. But as for the Highlanders, they split their Western road trip down the line. They won against KW yesterday, but it wasn't a story here tonight. So looking at the road ahead, the Windsor Express, they got a big challenge here against the London Lightning here Sunday. JP, what are some of the tips and what are some of the plans that the Windsor Express really got to take in here in order to prevail against the London Lightning? Because like we said at halftime, this is a major assignment and a big challenge.
A major assignment, big challenge indeed, because you got a lot of different options with London. I've said that probably so many times that it's going to be on loop at this point. But I think if you're Windsor, you got to find a way to not only try and shut down the paint, because London has turned from an inside-out team where if you give them a chance inside, if they find someone open on the perimeter, they'll give it to the guy on the perimeter to drain the three wide open. So you got to shut down the paint by far. And then when you shut down the paint, be sure to be able to clog the traffic, so to speak, for those outlet passes to get back to the outside, because if you leave them open, you are going to be down on the score sheet by far. On the offensive side, I think they got to make sure they keep up the tempo, play the way they want to do. Maybe a slower tempo possibly from Windsor, because London, they play a very fast-paced offense. If you let London play their game and go back and forth for 2-3 minutes, back and forth up the floor, then London will set that tempo to be fast-paced, and Windsor will fall behind. I think Windsor might want to try and slow it down somewhat. We'll have to see what Bill Jones really decides to do come Sunday.
We've seen a number of times the London Lightning, they get about 2-3 players that hit double-digit figures here game after game, but for the Windsor Express, we've seen a lot of more balanced scoring, especially tonight is no exception over here. So a lot to take in if you're Coach Bill Jones in the squad, but once again, they were one of the teams last year, JP, that limit the London Lightning to under 100 points, but that was last year and this is now, and as we've seen the last time these two met, it was a different story. The London Lightning pulled through, but at the same time, it was the Windsor Express that once again that pulled through the first time they met over in London. So when you put the chips down, it could be pretty much anybody's game, but once again, a difficult challenge, and will it come down to bounce scoring? We're gonna have to find out. So about 48 hours away from that, so that's pretty much all you gotta say about this team, because the 401 rivalry will continue, all guns a-blazing.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, because exactly that, balanced scoring. It's going to become like that for both sides, I think, for Sunday. It's going to be fun to watch. That's for sure for Sunday.
And we'll see what things go down here this Sunday. We invite you to join in on the festivities here Sunday afternoon. We'll be up here around 2 p.m. here on Knoxville TV. If you are in the eastern area, Atlantic area, we'll see you down at 3 p.m. right there. So tune in Sunday, the Express and the Lightning here at the WFCU Center. But as for us, that will cover it and that will do it. 109-92 is the final. The Windsor Express pull through. They get out of losing ways and they get a W in the win column. We thank all of you for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you down the lane. This has been a presentation of Knoxville Digital Media, producing the media excellence in Southern Ontario. Till next time, for camera operator Izzy Grondin, JP, Justin Prince, this is Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Rose City.